Are you ready? Can Crushers. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Gotta shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hey y'all, this is Sarah Bubbles. Keep listening to Can Crushers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast in the best place, the best podcast to get independent wrestling interviews. It is Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. It is the Spotlight Edition, and I am Mark the Mark Martinez. My guest this week, we've been on a chase, but we kind of settled down, both of us, and we decided, all right, we're going to do this interview. Finally, we're going to do this interview. Guys, my guest this week is the show pony Reese Ramone. Let me tell you, if you don't remember that name, let me tell you one more time. The show pony Reese Ramone. You will see her continue to climb the charts of independence until you see her on WWE, AEW, Impact, or something like that. There it is. You need to know that. Reese Ramone is going to be a name you need to know. You'll have to remember it. And remember that you got her here on Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Amazing in ring. You'll understand just from promos, once she comes on the line, she can talk too. So she's got all of that. She's ready to go. But before we get to Reese, you know what we have to do. We have to tell you about all the cool stuff that we do over here at Can Crushers. And one, listen, Christmas is tick, 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 tick. It's coming a lot closer. We have a WWE affiliate code. And we are very transparent on the podcast. Sometimes you'll get a discount buying some merch. Sometimes you won't. It all depends on what you buy. But the code, I'm so excited to tell you about it. I'm also, Reese's calling me right now. So, yeah, that's how it is. All that is in the show notes. So the link is in the show notes. So go ahead and use that link. And you may or may not save money, but you will help support Can Crushers. And you'll still get your merch for Christmas and everything like that. Maybe birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, whatever you celebrate. So use that. Thank you for that. We also have merch. If you're looking to get some Can Crusher stuff, head over our website, which is linked to all of our social media pages. And we have hoodies, we have tees, we have mugs, we have tumblers, we have leggings. Check it out. You can buy some Can Crushers merch. Don't forget as well about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have over at Collar and Elbow. We can save you money when you buy stuff there, too. Our promo code is Can Crushers. Imagine that. Can Crushers. It's all one word. Smash it together. Capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. And on your entire order, you'll save 10%. That's amazing. Anytime that you can save money nowadays is amazing because everything is just, those are rockets going off, meaning everything's high priced. But nonetheless, where can you listen to us? Spotify, IMDb, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and of course Podurama, along with millions of other places. But Podurama right now is offering 50% off of a lifetime subscription. And I'll tell you, this place is really cool. I've been using it for a while now. Seamless. In the garbage truck if I'm listening to a podcast, and I bounce back later on at home to, as I'm editing or something, listen to it on the laptop, pull it up on anything. It just sticks and stays where you are. You don't have to go, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a cool word to use, but just searching for, where you stopped or whatever, Podurama is really a cool place. Check them out. Again, 50% off a lifetime membership right now if you use Podurama. But guys, are you on social media? Yes, we are. We're on all of them. We're on Threads. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. All of it is at CanCrusher69. It's that easy. Join the conversations, post, do some cool stuff like that. See the news that we post that we kind of find intriguing or that we're going to talk about on Saturday's show. So, yeah. And if you'd love to be part of this podcast, you want to be on your own spotlight, reach out at cancrusher69@gmail.com or DM us in any of those socials that I just had. I think that's it. Man, I miss Sir Michael Jenks. If you know from Saturday's episode. Hopefully he'll be back this week. So, all right. Let's send it out to Al Snow to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. And when we come back, the show pony, Reese Ramone, will be gracing us with her presence.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, Karen Crusher fans, Brock's Boulder. Listen, stay tuned for the best podcast, maybe the second best behind mine. Can Crusher podcast coming right at you.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, folks. You guys heard in the intro how excited I was to have my guest on. We've been trying to make this happen. Life gets in the way, but here we are today. It is the show pony, Reese Ramone. Reese, thank you for gracing Can Crushers with your presence.
Thank you. I know we've had a lot of schedule conflicts, mainly me. I've had a lot of schedule conflicts, but I'm glad we can make this time work, and I'm excited to be here.
So, a lot going on in your life schedule and everything. Listen, fourth wall real quick. College, wrestling, life in general. You're from east to west, north to south. How the hell do you do it and remain alive? Because I am dying on 4 hours of sleep today.
Well, I try to, when I have a planner and I try and lay out everything as best as I can, but it's not easy to do. There's always stuff coming up, always class assignments and stuff like that. I try to stay busy every weekend, either with a booking or a game. It's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, everybody can do it if they just schedule around, because I try. It's not easy. It's just, I just do it because I want to, and I want to have that end goal eventually to be successful in professional wrestling, being on bigger independent shows, getting a contract somewhere. That's the end goal. And I know right now with NIL and everything going on with college athletes and everything like that in the mix with professional wrestling, there's no better time than right now for me to capitalize on that and the boom of social media. And I always wanted to train to be a professional wrestler. So it's just having the willpower. It's not easy at all. So I can't say that I'm always alive, but I am one of those people that I run off energy drinks. I've had a lot of talks with Bobby about my caffeine problem. And
I get it.
I also live by the motto, I'll sleep when I'm dead. So I just, Yeah, I just go off that. I mean, it's not easy at all. I'm barely alive sometimes, but I mean, I know like these contracts with WWE, AEW, wherever you sign to, they're day in, day out too. So, I mean, I just have to remind myself that if I really do like want to get signed and I want wrestling to be my life and have it be my main source of income and everything like that, that I'm just going to already have to be used to intense schedules and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. I can't say that I am alive, but yeah.
It's for the greater cause. I know you said a lot right there, but to sum it up, it's for the greater cause. It's for
Yeah,
the goal.
yeah.
No, you can talk as much as you want. This is your spotlight here.
Yeah.
So you said one thing, and I hear this a lot, especially from older folk, and I guess Bobby is an older folk, that you sleep, and you probably stole it from somebody else that you know in your family. You sleep when you're dead. I understand that, but that kind of creeps me out a little bit. Like, that saying is kind of very morbid, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If you think about it.
But I mean, it's just I didn't plan for my life to be like that. It just kind of ended up being like that. And I'm someone that doesn't necessarily get creeped out by morbid things. I like death and all of that. From a standpoint, I think it's interesting, because we never really know, and like no one can really speak about it either, and it's very interesting to me. And one of my favorite things is Day of the Dead and stuff like that, and I end up watch it, like Ask a Mortician on YouTube all the time and stuff. But I just kind of like picked up on that motto because I realized it's what I do anyways, and I was just like, I guess that's like my only explanation to how I like do it all, because a lot of people ask me that question. So I really don't have an answer. You just have to want to do it, and it is morbid, and it just
It's a great philosophy. It honestly, think of it, it's morbid, but it is just live your life, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the rewind. When you were a little Reese, when you were a little show pony, who introduced you to professional wrestling? Mom, Dad, Uncle Joe, Aunt Sally? Like, how did you find this crazy sport that you love?
I found professional wrestling. I was sitting on the couch with my dad and we were flipping channels. He flipped it to SmackDown, and I saw it was at that time Divas. It was that era. And I saw it had to be Cameron because it was a schoolgirl uniform type gear. And I loved it. I loved the outfits and everything like that. I thought it was so interesting. Yeah.
Who are some of your other favorites? Because Cameron, that's kind of stuck in your mind now that's somebody the first you saw. Did you continue to watch her, or was there once you got engulfed in wrestling, you're like, oh man, John Cena's amazing, da 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 da?
I got engulfed in wrestling after that, just because I did dance and everything like that, and I love sparkly outfits and makeup and hair and everything like that. So I was really drawn to it from an aesthetic standpoint and a performance standpoint. And it was different. Of course, when I started watching more into it, I'm also really like history and stuff like that. So I would go and on the WWE network and watch like the different things about the Monday Night Wars. And one of my favorite episodes was always about like how the women played a role in the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that. So I just started like getting really into it. And around that time, it was like Paige and AJ Lee. And I really liked them and the Bella Twins. I was super into the Divas. And I mean, I like to go and watch Total Divas just to see how they live their life too. I know that's weird,
So
but like
unscripted, as I'm doing air quotes over here, it's unscripted, Reese, right?
I mean everything's scripted. Everybody gets what they like, everything's constructed. It's all for the media. It's okay though. I'm still entertained. I'm aware. I don't think there's anything that's unscripted. I think a lot
I
of
agree.
yeah. But yeah, I just started going in that. I really like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then and Bret Hart. That's someone else too. Natalia, the Neidharts, Cesaro. When I started getting more and more into professional wrestling and training, that's when I started really getting into the people I really like now. Like I love Kevin Owens and people like that. But when I feel like I want to learn things that I'm not seeing currently, I'll go back and watch people like Chris Candido or Adrian Street. Those are two of my favorites. So it was
Candido.
yeah,
we don't talk about him enough. Adrian Street as well.
no,
But Candido, we just do not talk about enough as a wrestling community.
no, we don't. That's just kind of like two people I really like. I know Sunny is like, I understand, but like as a performer, as a wrestling personality, I like to watch Sunny's promos. I liked the Body Donna's stuff. I know that was not necessarily the best Chris Candido stuff, but
he made it work. He made it work.
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely love Chris Candido. I love Adrian Street. Just people who are just very different, It's just kind of like who I liked over time gained more onto what I was looking for in professional wrestling and what I love to watch. I'll still go back and watch Divas match. Like when I was first started training, I would go and watch Divas matches that were only 2, 3, 5 minutes long, just to see what I could get in that amount of time too, because I was so new. That's how long I could go in a match and put something together like that. So it was just, I'm always still watching. I still love Paige, Soraya.
Right.
I love what Tony Storm's doing with the old Hollywood.
The Timeless,
gimmick.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. It's just about what I'm attracted to aesthetically, I guess, and what I want to incorporate into myself as like a character and the movesets and stuff. I love watching like Eddie Guerrero too. He's great. But yeah, it's just kind of changed over time who I really liked. Because, when I get into wrestling, I might not see myself doing everything that like the people I really like to do. And so it's kind of like my watching of it. I still try and watch as much as I can when I can, but it's like I'm more geared towards how I can develop myself. That's kind of like where I'm enthralled at right now, is like the development and progression of what I can do. Right. And then how I can make it part of the greater thing and what I haven't seen in a long time, and get that back out there, because there's so many cool things that we do, like people can do in the ring, and so many cool stories that could be told. And I mean, history repeats itself if you hear like Jim Cornette talk all the time. So it's just like, what can I bring back into it? And that's where like my watching focus has been recently, is like British wrestling and things like that. Rob Van Dam.
That's what I was going to ask. How far do you go back? Do you watch anything? And this isn't knocking Bobby yet, but do you go back and watch stuff from the 80s, 70s, or anything like that? Because I know Bobby and Brox, kind of give you guys homework to say, well, go watch this match and see what's going on. But on your own, do you go back and watch maybe a Sherry Martel or something like that.
I've gone back farther. I've watched like Luthez.
Nice. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, I've gone back way farther. Yeah, just the Vashons too. Those are people it's also just based on what like more experienced people like Gangrel or Su Young or anybody recommends to me. I'll go back and watch anything. I really will. I'll have people send me matches all the time to watch, and I do, and I always try and find something. It's very hard training as a professional wrestler now to watch wrestling and like take your mind out of what exactly is going on. Because but
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people are like, oh, I can still watch wrestling to enjoy it. I call bullshit on that. But you're always studying it too.
But the thing is like I was always studying it when I was like at house shows and when I was little and stuff too, because I would always time out the matches in my head, or my dad. It was really weird. My dad was a professional wrestler, didn't train or anything, but it was just like a lot of, he would just say things like he would see a pin on TV and he'd be like, oh, I guess that's who they want to push now. I guess that's who's going to be like their main person now, because he saw them take a pin on live TV. Or he would tell me like, if I would talk to wrestlers outside of, on the independents before I even got into wrestling, if I would talk to wrestlers outside that and they were just like not what I expected, he'd be like, I don't know what you expected. That stuff in the ring has to be just them turned up to 11. And I go into training and I hear stuff like that. So it's just like I've always been analyzing it, but now that I have that training background, it's like even more so I'm analyzing it.
Right.
So it's just like I don't know how I ended up like setting at like house shows and like looking at the like clock and like timing out matches. I don't know why I was doing that.
It's always you got, and I call this a good thing. You got the sickness of wrestling, the disease of wrestling from the first time you saw it. It was in your blood instantly then.
Yeah, I was just doing weird stuff like that. Like I would just look back in like the little stadiums and stuff and look and like just look at the clock on the wall or whatever they had for like scoreboards.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I usually ask this a little bit later, but we're going to jump around today just so we're not monotonous on the show, because Brox will throw me under the bus. He's like, you're like a robot, Mark. I'm like, at least I'm on, Spotify, Brox. But I want to know who the show pony Reese Ramone is. But I have 3 people, so don't tell me yet. I have 3 people when I see clips, when I see some interviews and some promos and like that. I see the 3 people: Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Summer Rain. How close am I?
Oh, I love them. I love Alexa Bliss. I forgot to mention her. That's someone who, I don't know how I forgot to mention her. That's someone who really inspired me. Yeah, I love Summer Rae too. I love the splits and everything like that. For more of like the attitude and stuff, I do look at Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. So, I mean, you're right.
I nailed it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Give me a little comeuppance today because I'm struggling. But yeah.
No, that was good. I totally forgot to mention. Then again, I'm like kind of like coming off of a long day yesterday, but that's okay. But yeah, that's true. That's definitely the era of people I was watching. Like I was there younger watching Charlotte get called up from NXT to Raw, and Alexa Bliss is everything with the little coffee vignette.
Yes.
And those, and just the promos in the ring with Mickey James, and
what was it? A moment of bliss? Is that what she called it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. And I loved it. I loved her gear. This was always something inspired. But it was always like the same silhouette. It was always the same cutout, which I always thought was neat.
Yep.
So yeah. So you're right. I do love them.
Yes. So how does this go from watching it and timing it at independent shows, you and Dad hanging out, to when do you get that aha moment that I'm doing this?
Um, I don't know. It's very, there's a lot of ebbs and flows with like me in professional wrestling, because some days I'm like, oh, this is difficult. It's not easy at all. It's very difficult, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm doing. And it's very rewarding, I think, after I have like a match with someone who is much more experienced than me. I think that's when I get that aha moment that it's very awesome. I've been able to share the ring with so many awesome people like Camille, Su Young, Lady Frost. And that's kind of like my aha moment, and the crowd reactions, and like even like when I'm working with people who have been training just as long as me or whatever, and I'm able to put a match together that responds well, especially like if the match before me didn't get that big of a crowd reaction or whatever, then I'm just like, it's okay. Like it's very fun. That's kind of like my aha moment, is the crowd reactions, getting to work with awesome veterans in the business, people who really care about it too, people who are really serious about it, and getting to talk to them and get their knowledge is that's kind of what I love. And that's where I fall with my aha moments and stuff like that.
And those are great. And you listed off a litany of names that, people in the business 10, 15 years haven't. And, you're young in the business, and Su Young and Camille, and like you said, Lady Frost. I'll throw one of my favorite, locals in there as well. Danny Moe has done rough shot around here.
Yeah, she's super fun to wrestle.
Yeah.
I love Danny. So she's been really great to give me advice as well. And it's just, I love working people.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Sports and entertainment and everything in your past. So you're kind of already trained before you go to professional wrestling training, but it's a completely different monster. Kind of talk about first day of training. Were you like, that was nothing? Or were you like, oh my God, this was brutal? Because listen, Bobby Brock's, all those guys at FTC, Art of Grappling and everything, they are an elite training facility. So they're going to make sure you want it before you want it, right?
Yeah, it was a very different, my first day of training was very different than obviously now. Bobby was not there. He didn't come. He was not there because I started training, we were coming off COVID. So he was there like at like the third training lesson that I was at. My first ever training session, it was Jillian there.
I didn't know if Jillian was still there when you were there. I was going to mention her, but I wasn't sure. Okay, yeah.
I was so terrified. I was so scared because I had another girl drive me because I didn't have a car at the time. And her name is Judy Ray on the Independence. And
Judy's been on the show. Amazing.
Yeah. And she told me that you have to cut a promo the first day. And I was like, oh my God. That was what I was terrified about. I I wasn't necessarily so scared about the physical aspect. Obviously, I was not in the best of shape that I wanted to be in at the time because it was the COVID time in college. And, we weren't even on the football field for like band. We
nothing.
were
Yeah.
band. Yeah, we were. So I wasn't like necessarily getting the exact workout that I would have been like I do now. So I was going in there. I was really scared, really timid. I wore a Hooters shirt. I was an interesting choice. And I was just very scared. And it was I was just very scared and nervous. So I was more so nervous about what I was gonna say, and I didn't have like really what I wanted to be yet. So I was just very nervous and I didn't know what to expect. So, and then, it was my third session when Bobby came full time, and he taught me stuff it just started making sense. And with Bobby and Jillian for that year, Jillian was still there. I really grew to learn a lot. And then Jillian left and Bobby was still there and stayed with Bobby. And I love Bobby to death. And I have learned so much. And it's just been a vast difference. And I shouldn't have been scared the first day, but I absolutely was. So
well, to do promo your first day, that's like walking into a lion's den. You're like, oh, that's definitely later after I learn moves or everything. That's got to be your mindset, right?
Yeah, I really just didn't know what to expect. Like, I thought, like, I was going to have to, like, I don't know what I thought. Like, I thought I was going to have to know way more going in than what I actually did need to know. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I was just, like, had so much anxiety going into it. And then I heard the whole promo thing. I was like, I don't, like, in front of a bunch of people I don't know. Like, okay. It's like, yeah.
Well, clearly you got that down. You cut great promos now. You're a wonderful speaker. You're fine with that. After you get the promos, how about in-ring? What was kind of the roughest thing for you to get? Was it, because people say the psychology stuff, running the ropes is, when you're learning to run the ropes, is the worst thing in the world. You just get bruised after the first one. Or was it throwing yourself on the ground because that's not a natural thing? Like, what was the hardest in-ring thing for you?
I did get a lot of bruises, but I bruise easily. So I think the hardest thing was the flip bumps, when you have to like flip over your head and land on your back. That was hard. It took me like 5 sessions to get a bump, a true back bump. Those were hard for me. Getting in-ring cardio was not that hard. It was not that bad. It was just like getting used to it.
Right.
It was a little tough.
Shaking the ring rust off, essentially, right?
Something, yeah. And I don't think psychology was nearly that hard because, like I was getting told why you should and shouldn't do things. I just, like I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's cool. That's always been pretty easy for me. Sometimes I may even overthink it.
Which makes it worse then.
Yeah.
Then your anxiety steps in and everything. Yes.
I really want everything to make sense. And that goes into a lot of questions being asked by me. And so those were definitely the hardest things at first. And then I just found more and more different things to kind of nitpick on as training went along. It's like, I can't just say like one thing because it's a development process. Like I want to be the best in all aspects. And that was just, I think one thing I still struggle with is being scared, like being nervous. But I think everybody gets a little nervous.
I think it's good though, right? Because those butterflies, fourth wall, we're going to talk about it here in a second anyway, but you're in the baton, in the band, in the all of that at Marshall and everything, do you get those same feelings performing in front of 60, 70,000 people than you do, and I'm not knocking anything, 150 or 300 people at maybe a wrestling show?
Yeah, I still get nervous.
And that's a good thing because that means you want to do it.
Yeah, I get nervous, especially when I start to like wrestle new people and stuff. Not anything on them. It's just like, like I don't want to mess up. Like it's just like that. I don't get as nervous as if I'm wrestling against someone that I've wrestled against a ton, because I just kind of know already.
The comfortability.
Yeah, but that's something. I still get nervous twirling or anything. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's a natural reaction.
But yeah, it's just been like that. And I think like the biggest thing I worked to develop so far in training was my chain wrestling and my promos. And now I'm looking for more and more things to advance upon, like TV matches or different types of matches you'll come across, ultimately to get to that goal of being signed to a company. It's just been a developmental process of what I think I need to work on, or if I see something match or I get a critique,
right?
What do we need to improve upon, selling or this or that. It's been like, I think selling has been another thing that has been difficult for me to learn as well. But I've been improving upon it a bunch. So yeah, it's just a ton of different things over time.
What do the parents say when you say, "Hey, I'm actually doing this. I'm getting into professional wrestling"?
Well, I didn't tell anybody I was going to do.
You're one of those. Okay.
I am. I just paid up front with the little money I had, and I went in, and then my parents became more and more supportive about it, because I had a show and I just was, I was honest or whatever. And my first show, and then I ran into a bump in life, like as you do. And it was about a few months into my training and stuff. My dad passed away. So then I still continued to wrestle through all that. And so it's me and my mom now, and she's very supportive of it. She'll send me outfits and stuff for here. And she's great. So she'll come to shows too. So it's just, they were, I just didn't start off by telling anyone. I just kind of did it because I knew like they didn't want me to get hurt.
Right.
but it's like, it's just like, I don't care. I mean, I don't want to get hurt, but I'm just saying, like, I really wanted to do it. So, I just did it, and I just didn't tell anyone, because I just was like, I'll just go ahead and get into it. But I mean, like, my mom's really supportive, so it's okay now.
Yeah, you're out there kicking ass and taking names now. Like, you shouldn't worry. You should always worry, because number one thing in professional wrestling, take care of your opponent or opponents, depending and everything. But once the safety gets by, it's fun. It is just it's a release. We talked about it. Once you saw it, it's in your blood. It's crazy. It's just it's a different aspect in life, right?
Yeah, that's just it. That's like the biggest thing. It's just like getting past like the whole safety thing, like being willing to like, trust someone else. It's really cool. It's just really fun. Having fun out there, trying to do something different on the card that no one else is doing. That's what I aim to do.
Right.
And that might not be like the craziest stuff ever, but it's just, I like to do different things. And so, yeah, it's really fun, after you get past the whole, like, getting scared of getting hurt. It's really fun. Yeah.
you can be, there could be a flyer match in front of you, there could be a submission match in front of you, you could be the ground and pound match, the technical match, or something like that. That's the difference that you're kind of talking about, right? That it's just, there's so many stories in a wrestling event itself that just makes fans escape reality, and you want to be part of that.
Yeah, it's really important to know what you're getting, like see where you're at on the card, what you're doing. You don't want to have the same, if someone's having a last man standing match, you don't,
Right.
It's going to be kind of like different what you're going to put out there or whatever. And it's just, you want to give them their money's worth to see a variety of different things. So yeah, that's just kind of it, is knowing your role on the show.
Okay, Rock,
And
knowing your role. Nice.
yeah.
Slid that in there.
Yeah, you got to know your role on the show and know what you can do to help fans escape reality, because they're not there to see themselves, obviously. So yeah.
Let's take a hot second break from wrestling, and we'll return to it for the tougher questions, essentially. But listen, we know you're busy, but when you get a day to, and I'm not bothering you to be on a podcast, like, what are you going to do the rest of the day? Are you just going to kind of like bum around? What do you nerd out about in your pseudo personal life a little bit? Are you a gamer? What's up?
Oh, I do not have my gaming console with me at school. I do like video games, but in my free time, I kind of like to watch documentaries. I like to watch sports. I like football a lot.
Clearly.
Yeah, I really do like football. Genuinely, it's more than just about twirl. I really do like football, and I like to shop. That's not a good hobby. Don't pick it up, everybody. Listen to music. Just kind of relax. I like to go and work out on an off day. If I think I should, I like to try and give my body a break on an off day, like a Sunday. I try and do homework and just set in my.
Try to do homework.
I do. I'll get a little bit done. And then sit, relax. Yeah, it's hard. It's really difficult. I'm like an 11th hour person when it comes to homework, which isn't good, but that's okay. It's the job's getting done. So it's just, I like to just relax.
And you need that mental break as well.
Yeah, I like to watch wrestling and sports and documentaries, and maybe go out to a random thrift store or outlet store and see what ridiculous outfit I can find.
Nice. The normal stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like dressing normal.
All right.
Yeah, it's just like every single day is so jam-packed with random stuff. And, like Saturdays, I like to, football game or show, and I like to go. This is like really what I like to do on the weekends. I like to either go to a show or a game, whatever, and then like later in that night, go to a bar and sit there and watch like West Coast football, because I love West Coast football. Rip the Pac-12. But I really like doing that, just to sit somewhere and watch, because I don't have cable here at Marshall. I think I've done something wrong. I can't figure it out, but that's okay. I still get like Netflix and YouTube and all that. But to watch sports and all that, I do like to sit at a bar and just watch it, because I know it'll be on and they're open late, and it'll be the West Coast stuff. And then Sunday, I like to just relax, or go home and visit my mom and my many pets. And or if I'm not doing that and I'm staying on campus, I like to try and refresh up on homework.
Again, the whole try on the homework. I love, and I know you're like, I'd try. It's due at 7:00 on Monday morning. I'm gonna do it at 6 Monday morning.
I really will, and that's okay. But it's just and try and refresh up on stuff and just watch movies or TV or whatever I'm feeling, or go on a walk. Just random like reset stuff. I like to make sure I get all my like gear and stuff out of I try and like clean out my wrestling luggage bag. I try and clean out all my bags and stuff and get my room organized and just kind of reset. It's just a very boring day because every other day in the week is filled with random stuff.
Right.
And yeah.
3 silly questions, okay? And I kind of tailor them to you a little bit.
Okay, no worries.
If you had to befriend a rival, would you rather pick somebody from Ohio University or Sarah Bubbles?
OU.
Okay.
What? I want to go to Athens. I want to go to the MAC. I want to go back to MACtion.
Yes.
I love the MAC. Yeah. You know how pretty OU's campus is? I'll be driving the shows and stuff, and I'll see it. I'm like, oh, it's really pretty.
It really is. I've been by it. It's yes. What past TV show would you be on?
I really had like a weird obsession with like the Brady Bunch or Happy Days. Either one of those. Okay. I don't know.
That's farther back than I thought. You're going to say maybe like Gilmore Girls or 902 or 10 or something like that. I've
never watched either one of those. Okay. I really haven't.
Good. But that's just, listen, your persona puts it out. So I'm like, okay, she's going to pick one of those. This is going to be a stupid, silly question.
No.
And if you could go to any celebrity's wedding, who would it be?
Oh, I want to go to Britney Spears' wedding that happened just to see if it was real or not. Because I'm seeing a ton of things on TikTok that are saying it wasn't real. Have you seen those?
I have. Was Kevin Federline that one?
No. Like the one recently, like this. Like
the new one. No, I did not see that then. Okay.
There's like a ton of conspiracies going around that that it wasn't real, and like she didn't even know who was going to show up, and it was just kind of like staged, and like there's just
you're going to make me deep dive into this.
You should. It's very interesting. I don't know. It's scary. Free Britney though. I love Britney.
I do love Britney.
Yeah, I'm a big Britney fan. I love that clip that's like, before I'm an American, I'm a Britney fan, by like that Chris Crocker dude.
Yes.
That's funny. So yeah, no, that's one wedding I want to go to because I want to see if it was real or not. Yeah.
No Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Not that
they've
announced
anything. Kelce.
Okay, you want Travis Kelce. Okay.
I'm a big Kelce Brothers fan. I love the New Heights podcast.
I'm part amazing.
Of the 92%ers. Yes, I'm part of the 92%ers. So I'm not a big fan of the Taylor Swift takeover of the NFL. But that's okay. It's okay. I love Travis Kelce, and I was very heartbroken when that was announced. I was like, oh well, my chance is gone.
Travis is making her popular. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. No, but yeah, I don't want to be in attendance for that wedding, so it's okay.
Do you have any hidden talents? I mean, you're very talented on both fields, in the ring, everything, but do you have anything like that we don't know about? Maybe you want to sing to us right now or something.
I can't sing. You're not getting that. I can play the bass.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. I guess I don't have any like weird hidden talents. Like I can't curl my tongue weird or anything, and I can't like pop any bones out of place. But like I can't play the bass. I have not posted anything about that.
Was that something you just learned as a child? Like,
well, so my mom, for my like 7th birthday, she was like, do you want to learn an instrument? And I was like, okay. And then I just didn't think about it, because I'm like, I don't know. And she was like, oh, well, did you pick one you want to learn yet? And I still hadn't have an answer. And I saw Taylor Swift on the TV with a guitar, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll learn the guitar. So I learned how to play acoustic 6-string guitar first. I was young. And then I started getting into band, because band in where I'm from starts like in the middle school time. Like, not at the same school. It's not that kind of thing. But like, that's when you're first introduced to band.
Yep, us too.
Yeah, is like the middle school era. And so I couldn't play a 6-string guitar for concert band, because if I wanted to twirl, I also had to be a part of the concert band and know how to play an instrument. So I went and I learned how to play the bass. And so then I played that through middle school and through high school and all that. So that's, yeah.
Nice.
I started off with guitar. Yeah. So I can play the bass.
That's awesome. You don't hear, but congratulations. I wish I would have learned something. And I know even at the age of 46, you can learn or something. I'm on your time frame. Like, I wake up to sneeze and I go back to sleep sometimes, and that's roughly it. So yeah, I get it. All right, here's your tough question.
Okay.
Of the whole podcast. If you could change something in professional wrestling, have it be, something that goes on in the locker room that just is grimy, because sometimes general public thinks wrestling is like, oh, it's wrestling, or, there's just some crappy stuff happening in wrestling. What's the one thing that you're like, man, this needs to be eliminated from wrestling?
I would like to preface that my answer is business only. I don't want anybody that listens to this get offended or anything like that and say, why is someone that's only been training for 2 years speaking or whatever? So I just wanted to go ahead and start out that my answer is business only. Wrestling is a lot like performing.
It so much is, yes.
It is. And it's just the same as backstage. There's nothing backstage really that I would change, from that aspect. I don't know. This is a really tough question. I really would like to see more characters.
Yes.
I would like to see that's my big thing is I want to see more characters in professional wrestling. I'm not talking about like Sparky Plug that time, like in WWF when everybody had,
that's what I was saying. I was saying yes to, because I love those.
Not all of it, some of the occupations.
Some of them were, but
yeah, but like stuff like that would be so characters draw me in, because you can learn moves. Yep. You can learn how to talk. You can learn psychology and time.
Yeah, because they have to sell the match and they have to sell their character the whole time.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's like the one thing I would fix. I'm not going to say like, oh, I just wish everybody was more nice to each other, because I get it. It's like, it's job security. Do I think some things are outrageous? Yeah, sometimes. But it's just not, it's not my place to like try and fix that. Honestly, if you have a problem with something on the show, you can go talk to the promoter about it, or you can talk to personally, I'm a very like face-to-face person about like an issue. So if someone has like a problem with me, I'd rather they just come and take it up front with me face-to-face personally, and we can talk about it, because I'm sure like I'm someone you can very easily misconstrue things from, and just stuff like that. So it's just, I wouldn't say anything about egos or whatever, because if you're going to be a performer, you got to have some kind of ego.
Yep.
I know some are bigger than others. I get it. But there's so much you can do within yourself to thicken your skin and how to handle things professionally and things like that. That's just not something like, you just got to be able to adapt to that part. And I don't know if that'll ever go away. Probably not. Obviously we have so many, like there's so many stories come out in professional wrestling, dirt sheets, all things like that, with like Dark Side of the Ring, different people, different podcasts talking about different road stories and stuff like that. It's just a part of it, and I think that might shock some people that didn't perform before they got into professional wrestling. I really think that is something I noticed is like a culture shock to people.
It really is.
If they haven't performed before. Like, it's not even just sports. Like, I totally understand playing sports, but like actually performing is like totally different than like true sports. Like with sports and everything, yeah, you're competing for these spots and there is a lot of drama and all that. But like truly performing in shows and stuff is a different euphoric feel. And I think that really shocks people. And so there's just that. I would just, honestly, I just want to see more characters. I want to see more people be themselves and create something different that you haven't seen. That's always my goal, is to try and like it's impossible. There's been professional wrestling's been around for a very, very long time. So it's like you just be yourself and pull inspiration from things you haven't seen in a while and stand out. And I think that's the best part about it, is all the different characters and, just being someone that you're not going to see just walking on the street. I think we need to bring back like the characters and stuff.
I love it. I love it. I do.
Yeah. I just can't say egos or whatever. That's because like, it's just like, you just shrug it off,
And
there's a lot of people.
I love what you said. It's not just like, I'm going to play a Christmas play and, you have to try out for these and you have to have, hey, Mark, you really sucked at being Tiny Tim, but you can be Mrs. Cratchit. Well, whatever, you roll with it, that if you're going to put yourself out there, you have to be able to take that criticism. So egos, as much as I agree with some people sometimes that if it's over the top, maybe you have to check yourself, but they're always going to be in life, not just business. It's going to be in life, right? It's just, so egos, whatever. If you don't have a thick skin, suck it up, Buttercup. But I love your answer. We'll stop beating that to a dead horse. I love your answer, characters, because I've always, that whole golden era, and you said maybe not Sparky Plug, I loved stupid ones like Outback Jack or, Bastion Booger or something like. It's just a different look at professional wrestling. It's on a different realm. Not that I was a fan of Bastion Booger before I get thrown another bus because that was putrid, but you understand.
Yeah. I think that's something we could all get back to, is like really looking at what made people, if you like go and watch a whole like show and you look at what made people stand out, it was the look, it was how they talked, it was the little nuances in the ring. Yes, the moves are important, but I mean, like for Eddie Guerrero, he was amazing wrestler, but you see people all the time still wearing around like the Who's Your Poppy shirts and stuff.
Latino
like
heat, yep.
It's a lasting impact, and that's what I would change, is like being able to create moments from your character work and personality that have a lasting impact, that really stand out. That's, like Austin 316, things like that, creating something that is marketable, profitable, memorable. It takes people back to a certain time. That's why a lot of people, I mean, whether they realize it or not, that's probably why they got into professional wrestling or watch professional wrestling. It wasn't necessarily, we did this one move and that was it. It's like, you see, like, I own an Austin 316 shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, like the Bret Hart's, the pink, like the Hart Foundation, the pink,
the marketable stuff. Reese, you got a great head on your shoulder about this. I love it. You know the business. What's the best advice that somebody has told you in an wrestling arena or something? Because there's life advice too, but what's the best thing that Bobby, Jillian, or somebody has said, hey, Reese, this is what's going to make you excel, or anybody else?
I think some of the best advice I've got about like in-ring stuff has recently been from Sue Young, who told me that she was like, you need to go watch Rob Van Dam and you need to go incorporate the baton more into your gimmick. And, you know, as a bad guy, as a heel, you see it more as a weapon, but as a face, you can see it more as a prop. And I never thought about it like that, like seeing my baton as a prop to do stuff. That's been some of the best advice recently I've had in ring, in life. Bobby, for sure. Many phone calls, very, very long phone calls about different things backstage that have occurred. Many long live phone calls about shrugging stuff off your shoulders. And yeah, so that Bobby for sure on live, and ring advice obviously, but like recently the best ring advice and some of the like most like changing stuff I've heard recently is definitely from Sue Young.
That's somebody great to have in your back pocket. That really is. I can't wait to see her and Bobby at WrestleCade. Brock's not so much, but yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I'm excited to see. Well, okay, here's the thing. I won't be at WrestleCade. I have a football game. But yeah.
It's okay.
Saturday
Next year you're going to be at WrestleCade.
Hopefully.
We're going to make it happen. Hopefully. Right?
Yeah, I have not been to, since I started wrestling, I have not been to WrestleCade. I've never been to WrestleCade, period. But since I started wrestling, every single year there's been a football game on that day.
Damn, Marshall.
Yeah, I know. And it's freezing cold.
Oh.
It's a very cold game every single time. It's always the last home game. It's like, it comes right off after Thanksgiving, so I'm at home and I have to drive back for practice and like to stand in the freezing cold and twirl in the freezing cold. Just not fun.
But you wouldn't change it for the world.
I really wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. And that's one thing is like WrestleCade's going to be there. Wrestling will be there. So yeah, I thought maybe this year would be my year to go to WrestleCade, but it's not. But I think Bobby and Sue are going to be a power duo, and I think that will be very entertaining.
Brock's not so much, right?
No.
Right.
Bobby and Sue. Yeah. Power duo.
I'm getting a text as soon as this was released again. Goals for the rest of this year and 2024. Since this year is rapidly ending, what are your goals essentially for this next year?
For this next year, I just want to go in and have like a good foundation in all my classes. That's first and foremost, getting through that education. That wrestling wise, since there won't be football right now in 2024, to continue to I would like to spread out more. I would like to travel and wrestle in new states, new places, different people, different styles. I would love to go to a different country. I would love to get a tryout at WWE at some point. That's a lot for a year, but I'm a big
It's baby steps, though. It's baby steps in building that, right?
Yeah, baby steps, building all of that, being able to get my name out there more and brand and work on a brand. I feel like that's something that's been really hard for me too, is trying to find out how I want to merchandise myself and what I want to do and how I want to stand out in regards to that.
If you could only go to one country, okay, I hope you go to all of them. But, hey, here's a list of countries. Pick the one you can go to first. Where are you going?
For wrestling, it would probably be Japan, and either go to and try and go to Marvelous or Stardom and work in the dojos. That'd be really cool to start off with that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just, and I think that's a goal for all independents, just to go to Japan, just to see that. I don't want to say next level, but next level essentially, because man, they do it right all the
It's
time.
different.
Yeah.
It's laid in. It's very clean. It's different. I would love to go to Mexico and learn lucha stuff. I would love to go to the UK, obviously, because I draw a lot of inspiration from UK wrestling, from World of Sport and things like that. I would love to go to those places as well. I would love to go to Canada too. That would be awesome. So yeah, it's just different places. But I would definitely, if I had to pick somewhere first to go, it would definitely be like Japan.
And travel in the United States, anybody that calls you, once schedule opens up and, everything's taken care of school-wise and everything, you're good to go, right? Somebody calls you in California, somebody calls you in PA, you're like, you're there.
Yeah, I could easily, and especially with the spring semester coming up, that'll be a lot easier to do. I won't have to dodge football games as much, or at all, really. So that'll be nice. Yeah.
So one more win and Marshall gets the bowl game. Is there one that you're hoping for? I know you don't get to pick. It's all FBS and all this, but is there someplace?
Well, I think the options are Mobile, Montgomery, New Orleans, Myrtle Beach, and there's one more, but I can't think of it. I think it's Orlando. I would really like to go to New Orleans. I don't know. I'm okay if we go back to Myrtle Beach, but I'd really like to go to New Orleans. I really thought that we would end up like, if we go 6-6 or 7-5. 7-5 is the record we had last year going into the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I thought if we go 6-6, I thought that the Sun Belt still had the Independence Bowl game in Shreveport, but that's now a Big 12 Pac-12 game, which I didn't know. So I thought we would end up in Shreveport, which I was like, whatever. But like,
wow, throwing hate on Shreveport all of a sudden.
I'm not hating on Shreveport. I'm like friends, like I've made contact with someone that was that's now an alumni of the Raging Cajuns football, and they were there, and he was like, it's not fun. Like, if you go to Shreveport, it's not like the funnest bowl game. And I was okay.
Compared to like Louisiana or Myrtle Beach or something, I can't imagine it is. I'm throwing hate on Shreveport.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like where he's lived in Lafayette forever and he's just like been in Louisiana. Like, I'll have fun with anything. Like, if I'm going to Cincinnati, I'll get excited to go to like a United Dairy Farmers gas station. Like, I'll get excited. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess it might just have to be different perspectives. But like, I mean, like, I feel like I could still have fun with Shreveport, but it's just like, I don't know. I heard it wasn't fun, but then again, that same dude also lived in Lafayette forever. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's just tired of Louisiana. So it's just different perspectives. So I would like to go to New Orleans. So we're back to Myrtle Beach is fine. I'm not too. A lot of people are saying they want to go to the Alabama ones, but I don't know what there is in Mobile and Montgomery. Obviously I know what Tuscaloosa is. And I know about Birmingham,
right?
But I would like, I don't know. I need to do my research on Mobile and Montgomery because it really all depends on what their final record would be. I think if we go 7-5, I could honestly see us ending back up in Myrtle Beach, which is fine. It was fun, but I would love to go to New Orleans.
And we joke, wherever Reese's going to go, she's going to have a blast. She's going to make it.
Yeah, I really will.
Her day.
I'll make the most of it.
All right. 2 more things. And this is the way I end all the time. I want to know your dream match. And I think it's probably pretty easy. I could predict it, but I'm going to let you give it to it. But I want to know stipulation and who as well. I mean, where as well.
Oh, dream match. I see a lot of people sharing their like who they want to wrestle matches. I don't know. I don't have that lineup. I think like I would really love to wrestle. I would love to wrestle Paige. That would be so cool. Or like Trinity.
Clearly caught me up. I thought it was going to be Alexa Bliss. I really thought it was going to be.
I would love to wrestle Alexa Bliss too. I would, honestly. You know, I would love to wrestle any of those three. You know, I would love to eventually be at WWE wrestling on pay-per-views and stuff like that. There is no place I would really want to wrestle. It'd be super cool to like wrestle at like the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. There is no stipulation, just to wrestle. I haven't been in a lot of stipulation matches. So yeah, I feel like maybe if I have one and I really like the match, maybe, but I haven't been in a lot of stipulation matches.
Without being in any stipulation matches, we're just going to throw this out there anyway. Is there a match in time, you know, that you wouldn't do? Like hair versus hair, or a death match, or a coffin match? Or is there something that you're like, nope, I don't care what's in my contract. It's kind of rough.
It depends on how much I'm getting paid. I'll do anything.
And I saw you snap your finger when you did that. To really be the show pony. You're like, no.
I really will. Like, seriously, like, I mean, I'm not gonna do a death match.
Right.
For
$5.
Like, yeah. Like, but if my head's getting shaved and it's a good story or whatever, I'm cool with it. Or a death match, like, okay. You know? Like, there is some things, I mean, like, I don't want to be getting stabbed with scissors. Like, there would be obviously things that are, like, off limits. I've seen a lot of crazy, like, Japanese stuff. There's, I do not want to be going to the ER, like.
Anytime soon?
Right now, no. But, you know, if it's good, it's good. Like, you know, if it's there, if the money's there, I'll probably do whatever. It's not, I don't know if that's a great outlook, but whatever.
No, it's you're being truthful instead of saying, well, I don't think I ever want to do a hair match. And then, you know, in 10 years, Reese is running around WWE bald because she lost to Tegan Knox in a hair versus hair match or something. And I'm like, that bitch told me on my podcast 10 years ago she'd never do this. So nobody's holding you to it.
If it was for the WWE, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm just like, it's just, yeah, it'll grow back out.
Right, it's hair. All right, this is your time. Give everybody your socials, where you're going to be here in the near future, and if you have any merch, can they get it? Anything like that?
Yeah. On my socials, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. Not as much. Not a big fan of Twitter and X. Definitely Instagram. Is all Reese Show Pony. It's just what is all together. That's the app for all of them. I do not have Facebook, so if you see anything of Reese Ramone on Facebook, it's not me. Yeah, that's where you can find me. Next week, this coming weekend, I'll be in Ironton wrestling for the FTC's Art of Grappling. That's where you can find me next. And after that, the next Marshall home game. And then we'll see what. And then in December, I think December 9th, I have a show in Spencer, West Virginia for Route 33 Wrestling. The rest of the December is yet to be filled out due to the whole bowl game situation.
Right.
And yeah, so that's where you can find me. Merch-wise, I do not have like a shop set up anywhere yet online or anything, but you can always come pick up 8x10 and stuff like that at shows. Or you can message me on Instagram and I will get them to you. I've done that and it's worked out really well. I like that. And yeah, so that is where you can find me, is all Reese Show Pony on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Which is a cesspool anymore. Between that and Threads, they're both garbage. We have to have them too, but they're garbage.
I forgot I had threads. I have threads at Reese Show Pony too, but I don't use it. Yeah. I just forgot about it.
It's garbage. Reese, this has been amazing. Thank you for coming on the show. Did I forget anything that you want to announce, say, yell at me, anything like that?
No, I don't want to yell at you. I've had a very nice time.
Awesome.
I've had a nice time talking about wrestling.
Awesome. I hope to see you soon at a show over in Ironton, Ohio.
Please come.
Well, after the holidays. Listen, it's getting crazy, and I have to go deal with Brock's a little bit down at WrestleCade, so that's gonna make me vomit in my mouth enough. So
yeah, with me too. But that's okay.
Again, thank you for coming on. It's been a blast.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me and working with my schedule.
Hey, this is the dude. If you don't listen to Can Crushers, I think you got into some of my gummies.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show pony, Reese Ramone. What a nerd. What a nerd. Timing wrestling as a child. No, I'm kidding. That is so awesome. I love that at such a young age, when she discovered wrestling with her father, she would just sit down and time matches because she knew something was up. And it was such a great story. It really was. Of course, the favorites that we hear, the Bellas and Stone Cold and everything like that, but I knocked it out of the park. I knocked it out of the park with my comparison. Pretty happy about that. I'm really happy about that. That's why I'm gloating about it once again. Guys, everything you heard from Reese is pretty cool, isn't it? I just want to make you realize this is somebody who's going to go far. This is everything she's doing. I made the comparison. I really did with, Dr. Britt Baker. Reese's in school. She's studying hard. She's doing this. She's still finding a way to wrestle. I know Britt. Britt did the same thing. She's got that desire. She's got that fortitude. She's got that passion. Man, I'm so proud of Reese. I really am. Guys, again, if you want to be part of a spotlight like this, cancrusher69@gmail.com or DM us on Facebook, Instagram, X, wherever. Just get a hold of us. We'd love to hear your story. We love to spotlight and just publicize everything we can for independent wrestlers to get your story out, get your goals be heard, get your social medias out there and build up and all of that, because that's what Can Crushers is about. We love independent wrestling and we love spotlighting you however we can and helping you along the way. So, yeah, that's about it. Reese Ramone. Hey, by the way, spoiler that I never do on spotlights. Somebody else from FTC in the Art of Grappling will be joining me next week. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.